Let's see, a human interacting with a 1,000-pound flight animal that doesn't want to stand still while crazy sounds are going on to try and get their ears forward. I mean, what could go wrong? The answer is everything. Hold the line for 10 tips on how to keep yourself and your clients safe during equestrian portrait sessions. Tip number 1 is to know horse behavior. If you want to do equestrian portrait sessions and you're not experienced working around horses, I suggest you go take some lessons and just really get to know what horse behavior is. They're not at all like dogs or most other animals, and so it's good to know how to work safely around horses for your sake and for your client's sake. Tip number 2 is to be patient and calm. Horses pick up on our energy. If you're calm, the horse is calm. If you're nervous, the horse is nervous. If you're uptight, the horse is uptight. So keeping yourself calm and relaxed during a session is critical. The other thing is patience. I go into my equestrian portrait sessions just with a boatload of patience. I don't have high expectations of certain things that are going to happen, so that allows me to be flexible and not push the horse and human past what they're comfortable. Tip number 3 is to exercise the horse before the session. It's good to just have a normal day, to ride the horse, lunge the horse, do something to get their energy out so it's not all built up and pent up for the session. It's okay to bathe them and put them in a stall for an hour before the session, but don't leave them in a stall all day or they're likely to blow up. Number 4 is to watch for signs of distress. Horses, especially when they're standing still, will start to build up stress, and some signs you can look for are pawing, tail swishing, teeth grinding, biting, kicking. If these things happen, it's good to take a break and just walk the horse around, let them eat some grass, get them to a place where they're feeling mentally and physically calm. Tip number 5 is to be careful with those ear props. We use things like horse whinnies and plastic baggies and remote control cars to get those horses' ears forward, but it could also be scary and we might startle the horse. So it's a good idea to test them in a place where the owner has a good hold on the horse, and if they do startle, nothing bad will happen. Tip number 6 is not to walk in front of the horse. And this is when you're going from one location to another. If you're in front of the horse and the horse spooks, they're generally going to spook forward, and there's a good chance you are going to get run over. So I always am careful to walk behind the horse and just tell my client where we're going. Tip number 7 is to allow no loose horses. If you are out in a pasture photographing a client and their horse, you may not see other horses coming up behind you, and they may be coming up fast or they may be coming up with their teeth bared. If your camera is up to your face, you're not necessarily going to be aware of your surroundings. The other option in a situation like this is to have a bodyguard. A lot of times if I'm in a pasture and I'm photographing like a herd of horses, I'll make sure to have a bodyguard there, somebody whose job it is to make sure that I don't get run over. Number 8, not really a tip, but it's something I need to mention when it comes to safety in equestrian portrait sessions, and that's the wearing of helmets. Now, a lot of people have their hair and their makeup done for sessions, and they don't really want to put on a helmet if they want to take a few riding photos. And I'm okay with that. I feel like it's a personal choice whether or not you want to wear a helmet. I'm a helmet wearer, but I also don't wear one if I'm riding for portraits. I ride in a place that I feel comfortable, and I'm taking that risk on myself. And this actually leads us to tip number 9, which is for the photographer to have good liability insurance. It's a good idea because if you don't have insurance and something happens at a session, you could be sued or responsible for insurmountable expenses. Tip number 10 tags on to tips 8 and 9, and that is to use an equine-specific photography contract. In addition to liability insurance, you want to make sure you have a contract that covers, unique things that might come up in the process of photographing people with horses. I use a contract from the contract shop that was prepared by an attorney who's also an equestrian with the assistance of my friend and amazing photographer, Kirsty Marie. I will put a link in the description to that contract so you can take a look at it. It is quite an investment to buy this contract template, but if you think about the kind of expenses you might incur by not having a good contract or any contract at all, it's actually quite a good deal. Well, those are my 10 tips. I would love to hear yours. If there's some that I didn't mention, leave your ideas in the comments. Feel free to like and share and subscribe on YouTube, and I will be back soon with another video.